I woke up to a scene straight out of a nightmare. A blizzard of toilet paper had engulfed my house. It wasn't just a casual TP job. My entire property was smothered, the front yard a war zone of shredded tissue dancing in the morning breeze like tattered white flags. My mailbox, my dog's little house, even the young oak I'd planted last spring, all wrapped up tight, like props in a low-budget zombie flick. This wasn't some random teenage prank, though. No, this was a calculated, military-grade toilet paper assault, executed with precision and spite. And I knew exactly who was behind it. Linda. Not just any Linda. Linda Grayson, the self-proclaimed overlord of the HOA, the neighborhood's unofficial tyrant, the woman who'd fined me for leaving my trash can out for 7 minutes past pickup time, who'd measured my grass with a ruler. Now, it seemed, she'd escalated to outright vandalism, all because I dared to exist in her domain without kissing her ridiculous rulebook. What Linda didn't know, though, was that I'd installed top-notch motion cameras around my property. Every moment of her midnight TP raid was caught in stunning 4K. Her barking orders, her minions unloading from a minivan, and the glorious instant when she tripped over a roll of toilet paper and face-planted into my lawn. I watched the footage over coffee, a grin creeping across my face. Oh, this was going to be good. When I'd first moved into this neighborhood, it seemed perfect. Neat houses, quiet streets, friendly waves from porches. I pictured block parties and lemonade stands, not some suburban feud straight out of a sitcom. Then I met her. Day one, Linda showed up at my door like a harbinger of doom, clipboard in hand, her smile too tight to be genuine. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm Linda, head of the HOA. We have strict standards here, and I trust you'll comply. Before I'd even unpacked, she'd hit me with a violation. My mailbox was apparently 0.03% off the approved shade of beige. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. Things spiraled fast. One day, a fine for my car's tires grazing the grass. Another, a warning because my Halloween decorations were too unsettling. She even called animal control when my dog barked twice in an afternoon. So I pushed back. I painted my house a shade just off the HOA's approved palette, subtle enough to dodge real trouble, but enough to make her twitch. I filled my garden with plastic flamingos, each wearing a name tag. The leader, a massive pink one, I dubbed Linda. She lost her mind, sending me a handwritten, single-spaced tirade threatening to legally evict me from the neighborhood, something she had no power to do. That didn't stop her from trying. The breaking point came with the driveway incident. I parked my truck an inch over the line, just 1 inch, and woke up to a $150 fine taped to my door. That's when I knew she'd never quit. So, I set up the cameras. And boy, did they deliver. Last night, Linda and her HOA cronies crept onto my lawn like a suburban SWAT team, armed with bulk packs of toilet paper from Costco. This wasn't random chaos. They were methodical. One guy climbed a ladder to drape the roof, while Linda, in full soccer mom regalia, directed like a war general. More on the shrubs. Drape it like it's intentional. Hit the mailbox. More on the tree. Make it dramatic. Then, the piece de resistance. Mid-operation, she stepped back, got tangled in a stray roll, and crashed face-first into the grass, flailing like a toppled dictator. I replayed it, over and over. Pure gold. Now, standing in my TP-wrecked yard, coffee in hand, as neighbors peeked out in shock, I had a choice. Clean up quietly and file a complaint, letting Linda slink away, or turn this into her most humiliating defeat yet. Option 2, hands down. By 7 a.m., Linda had called an emergency HOA meeting via a shrill email blast. Urgent. Vandalism threatens neighborhood safety. The irony was laughable. She was about to spin her crime into some noble tale of victimhood, and I was ready to let her bury herself. The community center was packed when I arrived. Retirees in their finest, moms with lattes, the grumpy old guy from down the street who hated everything. They whispered, concerned. Linda stood at the front, blazer on, papers in hand, like she was about to plead a case to the Supreme Court. Our peaceful community was attacked last night by juvenile delinquency, she declared, voice dripping with rehearsed outrage. One homeowner, unnamed, allowed their property to become an eyesore, dragging down our property values. She paused for drama, hand on chest. As your HOA president, I've investigated and identified the culprit. She spun toward me. Ethan Carter, you are responsible for this disgrace. Silence. All eyes on me. I stood slowly, stretching casually. Interesting theory, Linda, I said, pulling out my phone. Just one issue. I hit play. The video blared, Linda in my yard, shouting orders, toilet paper flying, then the slow-motion tumble into the grass. I looped it, zooming in on her fall. The room held its breath. Funny, I added. I don't recall TPNG my own house while yelling drape it like it's intentional. A snort from the back broke the tension. Then laughter erupted. Uncontrollable, room-shaking laughter. Linda's face turned fire engine red. This is out of context, she shrieked, clutching her papers. It was an experiment. A neighborhood watch drill. So, training people to vandalize? I quipped, pocketing my phone. She turned to the crowd, desperate. You know me. I've served this community for years. Will you believe him over me? Too late. The laughter faded, but the shift was palpable. A long-time resident stood. Linda, this is too much. You've run this HOA like a tyrant, and now you're caught. It's time we rethink your role. Murmurs of agreement spread. People nodded, arms crossed. I couldn't resist one last jab. By the way, I said, waving my phone. This video's already got a few thousand views online. The internet's quick. Linda gasped, then stormed out, shoving past people as applause followed her exit. The meeting dissolved into chaos, neighbors swapping their own Linda horror stories, fines for 2 modern mailboxes, bans on inflatable Santas for lacking historical value. By the end, they'd agreed to vote her out. Walking to my car, I grinned. Linda's reign was over. But I wasn't finished. She'd terrorized this neighborhood for years with absurd fines and power trips. Her humiliated exit was sweet, but I wanted a grand finale, something to ensure she'd never crawl back. I had hours of footage, her planning, sneaking, ranting. The viral clip was just a teaser. I spent the afternoon editing a masterpiece. Dramatic music, slow-mo falls, her barking commands, a freeze frame of her flop with HOA justice stamped across it. I posted it everywhere. Within hours, it exploded. Comments, shares, news headlines. HOA president's toilet paper meltdown. The neighborhood buzzed. That evening's HOA vote wasn't close. Linda was banned from leadership citywide. Later, as I sipped a beer on my porch, she appeared at my driveway, unhinged, hair wild, no blazer, shaking with rage. This is your fault, she spat. I shrugged. Which part? The vote. The memes? Ending your reign. She glared, fists clenched. You'll regret this. I smirked. What? Another TP attack. She stormed off into the night. Next morning, I found a surprise, a professional sign in my yard, Linda's legacy, a monument to HOA madness, topped with a bronze toilet paper roll. I laughed. The neighborhood had spoken. It became a local hit. Photos, merchandise, the works. Linda tried fighting it. Lawsuits, pleas, but no one cared. She moved away. Her house sold fast, probably to scandal tourists. The HOA chilled out under new leadership, and I became a minor legend. My yard's monument stands proud, a reminder of the day Linda's crown fell and stayed down.